Winners look forward to weekdays, whereas losers look forward to weekends. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that essentially is rich people, successful people, they do things during the week, whereas poor people usually do things during the weekends, right? This includes shopping, going to malls, watching movies, going on dates, taking trips, vacations. They always do it on the weekends, right? Whereas for rich people, successful people, they will always do things on the weekdays. And you will notice this happen to you as you become more financially successful, more financially free. You will actually dread going out on the weekends, right? And that really doesn't have much to do with age. You will just start to not want to do things on the weekends when everybody is out, right? When there are lines everywhere where you can't even get a reservation at a restaurant because they're backed up. You can't go to your Costco, right? Because the parking lot's full. You don't want to get gas because there's a line of cars. You won't want to do things on the weekdays anymore because those are the worst days to do things, because all of the pikers, all of the wage slaves, no offense to anybody out there, I was one of them for a long time, right? I look forward to the weekends for a long time, so I'm talking about my former self too, right? And I used to hate that too, but I was like, okay, it is what it is, right? But that is when everybody is on the weekends, right? Go on vacation. Everybody's going on the weekends. Got to keep it short. You got to get back by Monday. Keep it short or get fired. Whereas once you become more successful, you will look forward to the weekdays where there's no lines, empty parking lots, right? While everybody's at work, everybody's at school. You'll like own the place, right? You won't have to deal with lines, crowds, any busyness. You'll be able to eat at your favorite restaurant. No reservation needed. They'll just be like, come right in. Right? It's almost like a different world that you'll be experiencing. And I know this because I've been on both sides. Now I'm on the other side. And I noticed that once my business started to take off and I started to become, even before I became financially well off, I noticed while I was like working on my business, I started to not want to go out on the weekends, right? I was able to work from my laptop. So I did not want to deal with crowds. And so if I had to do run errands or anything, I remember going, oh, okay, I want to do this before Friday. I want to do this before the weekend because I don't want to be going to Target or Walmart or any place like that on a weekend when there's just a ton of people there. Why would you want to deal with that, right? Unless you like crowds, right? Obviously, when I do boot camp, I have to do that on the weekends because that's what makes it a target-rich environment when there's a lot of people out. So I have to take my students out on the weekend. I don't mind doing that because I enjoy doing this, right? It's probably my lowest ROI, the lowest ROI part of my business, but I still do it because I enjoy engaging with guys and taking them out and teaching them game and pickup. So it's almost like a hobby now, but I get paid to do it, right? So I don't mind doing that on the weekends. But anything else, no. Movies, I don't want to watch it on a Friday or Saturday night. Even dates, I don't like going out on the weekends. I will try to schedule something during the week, right? Even if the chick has a job, I'd be like, no, we'll do it after you get off work, right? That's fine. Like, you want to do it Friday? Nah, I don't want to go out Friday. What about Saturday? Nah, I'd rather create content or do work. I don't want to be out there, with all the other pikers. Hate to say it, you guys don't know what a piker is. Google it, right? I don't want to be out there with all the pikers, right? And I was a former piker. I don't want to be out there with all the pikers. Even when I take trips, right? I go to Vegas a lot. I take trips just everywhere and anywhere. Whenever I take my trip, like say Vegas, for example, when do I leave? Do I leave on Friday night? No. Do I leave Thursday? No. I leave Sunday afternoon. That is when I leave. I leave Sunday afternoon. I get into Vegas Sunday night, and then I will stay during the week. And when I'm out in Vegas, I'm going out during the week there, right? I'm on the strip during the week. I'm going to the restaurants on the strip during the week. I'm gambling during the week. As soon as the weekend comes, I am not hanging out on the strip, man. I am going off strip, right? I might go to Henderson or Summerlin. I'll go to Green Valley Casino or in Henderson or Red Rock. out in Summerlin if I want to go to dinner or if I want to gamble. I'll go way out there where there's not a whole lot of people, right? I will avoid the Strip on the weekends. And especially like coming into Vegas or coming out of Vegas, I am not going to be leaving on a Friday or coming back on a Sunday, because that is when you have the most traffic, because you have all the pikers who take their vacation on the weekends, right? Because they have to get back to work Monday, and you see a line of people driving to Vegas on Friday, usually Friday evening, and then you see a line of people coming back Sunday afternoon, right? And as me, like as somebody who's driving into Vegas on a Sunday afternoon, it's just open air, man. There's no traffic whatsoever. But if you look on the opposite side of the road, people who are exiting Vegas, it's like hours of traffic, right? It's hours of traffic. So it just goes back to my saying, what I'm telling you guys, that, you know, to put it bluntly, I mean, weekends are for pikers and weekdays are for winners. Right? That's probably a better way to word it. All right, but you will notice that as you become more free financially, or even if you're not, and you just say you work from your laptop, say you work remotely, right? Like I was, you know, for a long time. You will notice that you won't want to do things on the weekend. So it's not like you have to necessarily be rich or wealthy or anything like that. But if you work from your laptop, where you don't have to show up at a 9-to-5 job, you don't have to, you know, where your boss isn't like checking on you every now and like every day. You're not being micromanaged. If you have that freedom of location, which is essentially, it's almost the same as kind of being rich, right? Because you have freedom. You have freedom of location. I believe Tim Ferriss called it the new rich in his book 4-Hour Workweek, right? You have freedom of location just like I do. So now you don't have to be rich. You just have a job where you have freedom of location. Now you don't have to be with the pikers, right? Even though you might still be one. You don't have to be with the pikers, and you don't have to be chilling on the weekends, like waiting to do your errands until Saturday and Sunday when everybody's out. Instead, you'll be able to take care of things during the week, where you don't have to worry about parking, lines, crowds, or anything like that. Okay, you're able to do things during the week. You're able to go on dates, do it during the week, right? When it's less busy. Okay, I remember back in the day when I used to go on dates, and it was always, that was just customary, like Friday, Saturday night, right? Always crowded. You got to wait like 45 minutes to eat at the restaurant, right? And sometimes up to 2 hours. Crazy, right? I mean, yeah, it's insane. It's insane how long the waits are. But on the weekdays, there really is no wait. You don't need a reservation. You could just walk right in and you're free, and there's not a whole lot of people sitting around. It doesn't take the waiter 3 hours to bring your order, like to bring your cheese sticks or your mozzarella sticks or your potato skins. Instead, you're going during the week. There's nobody in there. It's like there within minutes. It's crazy, right? You go to eat to a restaurant, and you order your food, start checking your phone. All of a sudden, here's your food, right? It's like, boom, it's right there. It's like, already? Cool, right? But on the weekends, ain't gonna happen, man. You're gonna be sitting there for a while, so you gotta make sure you have a little snack beforehand, because you're gonna be waiting to eat for a long time, and you're not gonna get the best table either. You're gonna get a table by the bathroom or by the kitchen, because there's so many people that, so many pikers in there that are also trying to eat and get their date on and get their meal on before they go back to work in the next 72 hours, before they have to show back up on Monday. Right? So you'll notice that, and this is why I encourage people and to always, like, even if you don't have your own business, you should, or even if you do have your own business, you should try to live a life where everything is as virtual as possible. And if you're out in the job market now, you should try to get jobs where you can work remote, so you do have that freedom of location. So there's one of my former students, Milad, shout out. One of my former students, Milad, who follows me on IG still, he had a choice to work for a company they were offering him more money. From what I remember, they were offering him more money, or work for this other company that was offering him a little bit less, but he was able to work from home 2 days per week. So initially, it sounded like he was like, no, I don't. He was like, I'll just go for the one that pays me more. And I said, no, because the one that pays you less but allows you to work from home 2 days a week, that's going to be more valuable than, you know, the little gap that they're not paying you, right? The less money that they're paying you to work at home, I'd rather take that job, right? The company that's offering you a lower wage, because that in itself is more valuable than whatever disparity there is between the higher paying job and that job. It wasn't even that much, right? So he took the lower paying job and took my advice, because he was like, okay, this is cool. I've never worked from home before. It was like a whole new world to him. It was like, oh my gosh, man, that was the best decision ever. Oh, it's so great to just wake up in my pajamas and this like work, and I could make myself lunch whenever I want. I could go to the bathroom. I could leave my house whenever I want. It's just a newfound version of freedom, right? I mean, it's just like, whoa, right? And this is initially why I left my corporate job, because I wanted freedom of location. I wanted to move to Los Angeles, and I was stuck at Rincon Center in the financial district of San Francisco. I wanted to move to LA. They had a location at Manhattan Beach, right? So I wanted to work at Manhattan Beach, right? But they were like, no, there's a lot of people. You have to go through this red tape, and it's going to take at least 3 to 5 years. I'm like, 3 to 5 years? So that's when I decided I'm going to start my own business. That's the only way out. Right? It was the only way out. Whereas these days, many companies are offering remote positions, especially thanks to the pandemic. Many companies out there are willing to allow you to work remote. Okay, so this is becoming more and more of a thing, which even back then when I was at AT&T, I was always like, how come we can't do this remote, man? I've got a laptop. They gave me a laptop and an expense account. And I was like, why am I even going into the office? I always thought that was a waste of time. I'm like, I don't know why I'm here. I'm just here because we're supposed to be here. I thought it was always dumb, right? But many of these jobs can be done remotely. So I encourage you to do that, right? If you have a job now where it can be done remotely, or you could get a position with another company where you could work remote from a laptop, work virtually, and you have freedom of location, guess what? You will free yourself from being a piker. You don't have to live the piker lifestyle, right? You don't have to be this wage slave where you have to do all of your errands and movies and dates on the weekends, right? You will be able to do this stuff during the week, right? Unless you have kids, of course, right? Because then they have school, and they're essentially pikers for the school system, right? But they, for them, I mean, there's really not too much escape, but at least you could get most of your stuff done during the week, and then you can just enjoy with the kids when the weekend comes and do fun stuff with them. Go to the park, and go to the beach and do cool stuff with them. You don't have to go to the mall or anything like that. So let me know, guys, your thoughts in the comments below. What I had to say tonight. How weekends are for winners, and weekdays are for winners, and weekends are for pikers. Let me know your thoughts below. Drop your comments below. Always love to see you guys in my comments. Always love to read your comments. As always, this is Matt Cross from Alpha Male Secrets. Don't forget to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and smash that notification bell as well, so you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube.